My mind was already made up that my bad close-up vision and fat fingers were no match for N-scale. So this attempt to get a quick video of one of the engines I was going to sell concluded appropriately.
Alright, that's enough of that.
With the removal of everything but the benchwork, I began the process of constructing my first HO scale layout. Without shame, a current shortage of supply of the N-scale Atlas Code 55 track products, and my not ballasting much of my track, led to some pretty good profits as I auctioned stuff off on eBay. Replacing my favorite locos and cars with the HO versions was quickly underway. A friend who had long modeled HO scale convinced me of the wonders of DCC operation. But what really got me excited was the addition of sound. I slowly began construction, and I do mean slowly, as my time was limited, thanks to full-time employment, a railroad video business, and seemingly always something else that needed my attention. However, as was previously mentioned, this was a basement room that would never be needed for anything else. Although the benchwork remained intact, one big difference from the previous N-scale layout was the use of the Woodland Scenic foam riser and incline system, instead of the open benchwork construction, which just wasn't for me. I also spent some time on a couple structures, which would keep me off my feet for a while. A bad left hip was making it a challenge to have good mobility, especially maneuvering under and around the layout. A hip replacement and ensuing recovery certainly put a pause in my model railroading. But apparently without much documentation up to this date, I had completed the basic track work and wiring. HO replacement priorities were the Lehigh Valley C628 Snowbirds and chassis system GP30s. Fortunately, most of my favorites in N-scale were also available in HO scale. The GP30s were made by Atlas, and the C628s from Bowser. This would be the main yard, where the two railroads would interchange traffic and both would have access. These scenes are the best and in fact only documentation I have of the track plan and benchwork. Perhaps I overdid it with my attempt at maximizing the layout within the available space. Just like the N-scale layout, the Chessie system and Lehigh Valley would be featured. Each railroad would have its own line, and a third line would allow trains from either to be routed over it. I stuck with the Atlas brand for my track and turnouts. Code 80 was used throughout. Even though I was born in the diesel era, I wanted a steam engine with sound, but without a heavy price tag. This Bachmann 284 Kanawha fit the bill perfectly. The saying goes, it was fun while it lasted. But my first attempt of an HO scale layout was just not keeping me inspired or interested. I would be the only person operating it, so ducking under it to get access, or just move from location to location, was getting to be a pain, even with my new hip joint. Operationally, it was also somewhat boring for me. I needed a new vision for a single-person operation. It was time for a big change. So 5 years since I started this layout, I began its destruction. The removal of the dreaded duck under was first. After one last pose of Chessie and Lehigh Valley Power, the yard and the rest of the track were gone. But don't lose faith in me, my friends. The scenes in the intro of this video are from my next layout. And although some modifications have taken place since I started it, it remains my current layout. And I'm happy to say I think I'm finally satisfied.